Good morning, everyone. This is Father Nate, missionary priest in Italy, and thanks for joining us today, November 13th, on No Greater Delight, our podcast on Marian feasts and Marian meditations. Well, today we have a great number of things to celebrate. We start in Mont-Richard in France, where we recall Our Lady of Nanteuil, Notre Dame de Nanteuil. This church is said to have a fountain that has healing powers, since the waters were blessed by Saint Martin of Tours, who then used them to baptize converts. Today we also recall the dedication of the Abbey of Bec. The abbey's complete name is Abbey Notre Dame du Bec, the Abbey of Our Lady of Bec. Likewise, in 1695, in Santa Rosa, Ambato, Tunguajauru, Ecuador, we have Our Lady of the Elevation, La Virgen de la Elevación. On this day, Our Lady appeared to the native, the indigenous, Juan Cacarin. The message that he was given was that the town should do penance for their sins, otherwise a great punishment would follow. Unfortunately, the warning was ignored, and just 3 years later, in 1698, a terrible earthquake almost entirely destroyed the city. Since then, devotion to Our Lady has become more serious. In 1475, in Saône-Valais, Switzerland, the commemoration of Our Lady of the Seven Joys, Notre Dame des Sept Joies. On this day, after a miraculous victory in the battle on the Planta, the bishop ordered that this day be remembered in honor of Our Lady of the Seven Joys. Lastly, in the Cathedral of Valencia, in Venezuela, the Virgin of Help of Valencia, La Virgen del Socorro de Valencia. In 1910, on this day, the image was solemnly crowned under the direction of Pope St. Pius X. For today's reading from True Devotion to Mary by St. Louis de Montfort, we continue with part 2 on the most excellent devotion to Our Blessed Lady, or perfect consecration to Jesus through Mary. We're on the second section, motives for perfect consecration, and again, we're continuing on the 8th and final motive for this devotion. So we'll read point 175 and point 176. Our Blessed Lady is the faithful Virgin, who by her fidelity to God repairs the losses which the faithless Eve has caused by her infidelity. It is she who obtains the graces of fidelity and perseverance for those who attach themselves to her. It is on this account that a saint compares her to a firm anchor, which holds them fast, and hinders their making shipwreck in the agitated sea of the world, where so many people perish simply through not being fastened to that anchor. We fasten our souls, he says, to thy hope, as to an abiding anchor. Animas et speram tuam sicut ad firmam ancoram allagimus. It is to her that the saints who have saved themselves have been the most attached, and have done their best to attach others in order to persevere in virtue. Happy, then, 1,000 times happy, are the Christians who are now fastened faithfully entirely to her as to a firm anchor. The violence of the storms of this world will not make them flounder, nor sink for their heavenly treasure. Happy those who enter into Mary as into the ark of Noah. The waters of the deluge of sin, which drowned so great a portion of the world, shall do no harm to them. Qui operanter in me non peccabunt. Those who work in me shall not sin, says Mary with the divine wisdom. Blessed are the faithless children of the unhappy Eve, if only they attach themselves to the faithful Mother and Virgin, who remains always faithful and never belies herself. Fidelis permanit se ipsum negare non potest. She always loves those who love her. Ego diligentis me diligo. Not only with an effective love, but with an effectual and efficacious one, by hindering them through a great abundance of grace from drawing back in the pursuit of virtue, from falling in the road, and from losing the grace of her Son. And point 176, this good mother, always out of pure charity, receives whatever we deposit with her. And what she has once received in her office of depositary, she is obliged by justice, and virtue of the contract of trusteeship, to keep it safely for us. Just as a person, with whom I had left £1,000 in trust, would be under the obligation of keeping them safely for me, so that if by his negligence they were lost, he would in justice be responsible to me for them. But faithful Mary cannot let anything which has been entrusted to her be lost through her negligence. Heaven and earth could pass away sooner than she could be negligent or faithless to those who trust in her.
Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed our Marian podcast. As St. John Paul II teaches us, from Mary we learn to love Christ, her Son, the Son of God. Through her intercession, may we grow ever closer to Him. We encourage you to share this with a loved one or friend and help spread our devotion to Mary. Thank you, and God bless.